Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well today. Well, we've started another day, haven't we? Seems like this day is just like the last day. One thing's for certain. One thing I know, and I don't claim to be a prophet or anything like that, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that there's a lot of upset people in the world out there. There's a lot of disunity today. There's a lot of antagonism today. There's a lot of anger today. Just to be real honest, there's a lot of folks just wanting to get up in people's faces about who won what and who did what. A whole lot of taunting going on today and celebrations and stuff like that, especially in front of people who didn't get their way. And it's still up in the air, I know that, but what are we going to do now? What do we do now? I know our country is more divided than it's ever been, and I've been saying that over and over and over. It's like every day, it's just, what are we going to do now? What's going to happen next? Who's going to do what? Who's going to say what? I'm sure today we're more divided than we were even yesterday. But I want to do a little call out this morning to everybody, all of us who want to live on a higher level. When you're living on a higher level, you're up above things. Deer hunters like to get up in tree stands because they can see down, get a different perspective, right? When you are up on a mountaintop, you can see things that people that are down in the valley can't see. And if you're down in the valley right now, if you're down in the muck of American politics, in the grind and the lowness of how we talk to each other and how we judge each other, you don't have that much perspective when you're down in the grime like that. You've got to elevate yourself. You got to elevate yourself up so you can see what's going on, what's really happening in the world. And I want to be at least one voice that challenges you to elevate your game, okay? I want to see things that people that are down in the valley don't see. And in the Bible, in the book of Psalms, the 133rd Psalm. By the way, this Bible has stood the test of time, okay? There have been a lot of nations who've come and gone. Philistia, the Amalekites. You may wonder, who is that? Who are the Philistines and the Amalekites and stuff like that? Exactly, they're gone. That's my point. But this is an ancient book, and people who have put their lives and brought their lives into conformity with this book, yes, they get judged, yes, they get misunderstood, but their life stands, okay? And here's what it says in this ancient book. In Psalm 133, a song of ascents from David. Like you're elevating yourself, you're ascending up so that you can get a better perspective. He says, "Behold how good and pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell in unity." It's like the precious anointing oil that flows down off your head, down onto the beard. Aaron's beard, he mentions, how it runs down on the collar of his robes. It's like the dew of Hermon, the dew on Mount Hermon that falls onto the mountain of Zion, where the Lord has commanded a blessing of life forevermore. Listen, people of faith, folks of faith, I have a tendency to say, if you have respect for this book right here, may it be said of us that we endeavor to dwell in unity. Can you say, us men and women of the book, who may have voted differently, because we have some sort of different understanding of how America ought to operate. Maybe we've got different hypersensitive viewpoints on things that are important to us, like maybe pro-life is important to me, but it's not as hyper important to you. Maybe immigration or something like that's more important to you than other things are to me. We fall on different lines about things, but can we say, hey, we all have different things that are of a higher importance to us, but could we just for a minute not judge somebody else that looks at something else as more important than we do anyway? And can we just say that despite having those issues, red, blue, Democrat, Republican, left, right, whatever it is, can we just elevate our game and get up on this higher level? And let's leave folks that don't have faith down in the valley, leave them in the muck of reality, and we say, hey, I see you, you voted different than me, all right. But they don't dwell in unity because they have their focus on earthly things. Guys, our gaze is toward heaven. And that's different from people that only gaze toward this little empire called America, that, by the way, is going to end one day. I hope it don't end in my lifetime. I hope it endures for a long, long, long time. But if history is clear about anything, we don't tend to learn too much from history. But friends, do not put your hope in America. Do not put your hope in a candidate. Do not put your hope in who the next president is. You need to put yourself in Jesus. And when you do that, God will give you, He'll make you like the tree that stands by the living water. He'll give you water when you need it. He'll give you the dew from Mount Hermon. I've heard that it doesn't rain a whole lot over there. And what keeps the vegetation going on Mount Hermon is actually the dew that rises and falls every morning. So the rainstorms don't come very often at all. It's the dew that keeps stuff going. You know, you and I, we got to learn to be satisfied with the moisture, the little small pieces of moisture that God brings our way. The dew, if you will. Like this, I had the freedom to vote for somebody. That's a big deal because we don't live under a dictator that's over us that we can't vote any way we want to. That's a little drop of dew that we can stand on. Even if my person lost, that's still the dew. I could vote. I could have a say. Or maybe it's like I have laws that will look after me and take care of me, unlike other cultures on this planet who have no laws. Guys, that's a drop of dew that we can bank on, that will keep us going. Like I have brothers and sisters who will come and care for me when I fall down. Brothers and sisters who will help me stay close to my Father. It's good when brothers and sisters dwell in unity. Brothers and sisters of faith. So let's say, hey, let's be different. Those of us who have this higher elevation, those of us who are trying to walk on the high road, the view's a whole lot better up there. Those who can come up and out, get out of the fray, and we can pray instead of being prey. We're going the mountain lions and all the cougars and stuff that are down there, that we can pray to our Father so that the things of this earth won't devour us. He can deliver us through so that we can be an encouragement to other people. And let's look at folks who maybe even voted differently than we did, and we can say, hey, look, I respect you. I respect you because you know what? We're all one before God. God died for me. God died for everybody else on this planet, no matter how they voted, no matter what their political beliefs are right now. And if you and I could do that, man, then this verse would really come true. How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to dwell in unity. You know, right now we're not putting out a good, pleasant aroma. We're acting like a bunch of whiners, to be honest with you. And, you know, I would expect people who don't believe in God to be whiners. And by the way, not all atheists are whiners. That's not what I'm saying. But I would expect maybe people who didn't have an eternal outlook to whine about little things because they don't have an elevated view of eternity. But listen, you and me, we do. We do. So let's dwell together in unity. Let's show the world how we can actually be united even though we have differences. Because it's a blessing when we can all dwell in unity. And we're never going to win that person to Christ when we're pushing them away. And you know what I've learned? And as you look through scriptures, and I bet you'll look back on your life, you can say this too. God's plan is always the best plan. And God's plan rarely looks like what my plan would be. Sometimes I fail to recognize it, but in the end, His plan is always best. And He is in control, isn't He? God bless you.